I will resume recording it, and like Sam or Wendy, I will put it up after the class. So I just forgot at the beginning. So, all right, I'm recording it now.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Hey, welcome back, everyone. So I won't, what is a summary? It's anybody, just start giving me some ideas. What is a summary?
So we discuss about what we understand, and we share about what we understand regarding the summary is we write down about the articles or topics shortly or briefly in our own words, accurately, without evaluation and reflection in our own words.
It sounds like Sam or Wendy has taught you well.
Yes.
Yeah. The first thing is it's really short, a summary. And yet it takes a lot of work to do it, because you have to read a lot to get to understand something, and then you write the main ideas down. So, okay, that's not easy to do. Good. So what else do we have? Short, in your own words. What else about a summary? Anything else people want to add?
Yes.
Thank you, Kamli.
We are in the group 2. So summary we discuss is about the brief statement of the main part of the text. Shortened version written in the main text of the author.
Yeah. And what I want us to do today is to move from having some good definitions into actually writing a summary ourselves and evaluating summaries to see what a good summary looks like and what a bad summary looks like. But let me just say it again, and I'll say it again. It is hard work to write a summary. And you know, the 2 assignments that we have assigned for you involve writing summaries, and it takes a long time. Okay, any other comments?
Yes, we are group 4.
Yes.
Summary is a short version of a text that highlights its key points.
That's right, it is. And sometimes it's a very short version, because if the text is, well, I'll give you an example. This summary that Alyssa wrote has provided on complementarianism and egalitarianism, on the role of women. I found 2,200 articles on that topic. You imagine that? Nobody's going to read 2,200 articles.
Yes.
She has managed to take the main ideas and summarize them in 2 pages. Now, it would take you a year to read all that. So sometimes we have to find we have to read the right things. We don't want to read too much. In these assignments, we'll just give you one thing to read. But you know, when you're doing your DMin and you've found maybe 50 things to read, you have to learn how to summarize all that. And it's hard work, because you've got to read it all before you can summarize it. Or at least learn how to read things quickly. Okay, let me go back to my screen. I'll just move this out of the way. I will add a couple of comments similar to what Sam or Wendy said, just to confirm these ideas. It's a record in your own words, not using somebody else's. It gives the main points. We've said that. It omits, it does not have details, and it does not include what you think. Doesn't belong there. You must not say, well, I agree with this or that, because that's not part of a summary. And you have to read, as I'm pointing down here. Oh, let me get my pointer out. That'll be even better. You have to read to understand, not to get the correct answer, because there is no question. You just have to read and understand it. And so I've got a big definition here that after the class, I will send you this, which adds some more information. One thing that's important, always important, is you need to give references. Yeah. If you're summarizing a topic, you might have 10 different references that you've read in the process of writing your summary. It's not your own ideas. Don't have detail. You don't need a conclusion. It's like the summary is your conclusion. But don't copy whole sentences from things. More about all of that later. So I am assuming that you have all read this short article, and it's a really good topic because we have different views on it. And if we have time, we might even have a debate about it, but I'll see how we go for time. So some information about the article. It was written in 2019. Here's something important for when you're doing your thesis. New articles are often better than old ones. Sometimes new articles refer to old ones, but if you've got an article that's 30 years old, well, a lot has happened since those 30 years. So you have to make sure you've got some new articles or new books or new things when you're doing your thesis study. So this article is a comparison between two different theological positions. You know that. It's a summary of many books and writings. I'll show you in a moment. And what I want to do is I want to look at comparison first and summary second. So we'll do some exercise on comparison and then on summaries. So here is Google Scholar. Has Sir Stephen or anybody talked about Google Scholar? No. Well,
Yes, just
oh,
even
good.
about that.
You know, well, it's a very useful way of finding articles on topics. Sometimes you even get the actual article. So some of these ones, this one, for example, there's a PDF and you can probably download it, which would be useful. So yeah, Google Scholar is good to use. My point was here, 2,200 results when I search on Christian complementarianism. It's a lot. So you have to be careful and think about what do I read. Anyway, so Alyssa wrote, has compared these two theologies. So I want to begin by talking about comparison. When you compare things, you look at what's the same and you look at what is different. And you're not always comparing just two things. It could be comparing many things. So I've got an exercise for you in your groups, a simple exercise. I want you to compare apples and oranges. What is similar? What is different? And see what you can learn, and we'll share that. I know it's a very simple exercise, but it's a good way to start. Any questions about this exercise? Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes or so in your breakout groups. Let me get that going right now. I'll open all rooms and you can join. Great, okay, good. Oh, great. So group 6, what do you think?
Yeah, we are group 5. So I would like
Right.
to tell about the question. We are group 5.
Okay then. Okay, go away. Go tell us what you found. What's
These two fruits, they are same in being fruit and have leaf, but they are different in color, different in their names, and different in their taste. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good start. Group 6. Someone from group 6?
Sa angam beb yo lai bala sa angam.
Okay, we are from Crucis. The similar is they are both fruits, sweet and sour. The taste is sweet and sour, and they got the peel and they got the seed. The difference is different taste, different peel, and different part of how to say different season they grow in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Thank
Okay.
you. All right. Group 4.
Sama, group 4.
Kemana sama?
Tan Ping ni sama Tan Ping.
Hello, my group forced me to present, so I'm going to present. When we compare about apple and orange, they both are fruit, and they have leaf, and they are good for health, and their size are almost the same. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. Okay. Let me then, I won't make a long time of this. Here's some differences and similarities. They're both, like you say, both fruits. They're both food. Of course, we eat them. They both give juice. They both grow on trees. They're different colors. Oranges have rough skin. Apples have smooth skin, and they seem to grow better in different climates. I mean, this is quite a simple exercise, but this is what you have to do when you're starting to read articles on your topic. Some people will say something, some people will say something different, and somehow you have to get both of these working. So I think that's a beginning. So just to sort of finish it off, another short breakout, and I'll ask groups 1, 2, and 3 for their feedback. This time is a more a very different breakout for you. So let me hold on, get that minimized. This time I want you to compare mixed and MIT. All right, so you know something about MEGS. Some of you have studied at MEGS. And you know about MIT, Myanmar Institute of Theology. So compare those two. What's different and what's the same? So I'll put you in groups for another few minutes, and then groups 1, 2, and 3 will give us some feedback. Good. Okay, group 3, what did you think?
Yeah, we think the same, like Bible school, Max and MIT Bible school, and location Yangon, the same city, and costs are the same. DMin cost there, and the different Baptist denomination, and Max is interdenomination, school, and the campus are not the same. MIT is in campus, but Max is in apartment. And also there are different in some course. In MIT, bars and PhD are offered, but in Max, only DMin program. Yeah,
Okay,
something like this.
excellent work. Thank you very much, Tui. Okay, group 2, please.
Group 2, yeah, I will present. I am William Van. The similar point, yeah, both are Bible school, and yeah, both are in Yangon, and both have students and teachers, and both have curriculum of school. Yeah, so and the different are MIT is liberal and Max is evangelical.
Is that a fact? Excuse me, just with respect, is that a fact or an opinion?
Sorry?
Is that the fact that we say MIT is liberal and MEGS is evangelical? Is that a fact or an opinion? Would MIT people agree with that?
I think so, because I am Baptist, so
Okay.
Baptist, yeah, call MIT or this and that is liberal.
Okay.
So to be a pastor in Baptist, we need to attend in liberal school.
Yeah, understand that.
Without liberal certificate, cannot be a pastor for Baptist church.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Is the case, sir?
Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
group 1.
Yeah, let me say the similarity between them. MIT and Max are the same in terms of Christian school, and then they locate in the same city, Yangon, and then they are also one of the most famous schools, Bible colleges in our country. And then the same thing is different students come from different backgrounds and different areas.
Yeah.
But the different thing is MIT was founded in the year 2027, whereas Max was in 1996.
Sorry, when was MIT founded?
1927.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Max will be MIT's grandson. And then the different thing is when students from different denomination can come to Max.
Yeah. So that's this thing here, this interdenominational. Yeah.
And then yes, another thing is they also offer secular subjects like liberal arts.
Yeah.
And then mainly their trend, MITs will be liberal trend, whereas Max is known as evangelical trend.
Great. All right. That's very good. Thank you. Does anyone have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I think here one is Max is accredited by ATA, and MIT is AETA or what?
ATESIA. Yes.
ATESIA.
ATA plus ATESIA.
Yep. Yep.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then MECA is under the umbrella of Max is under the umbrella of MECA, and MCC or MIT is under the umbrella of MCC.
Yep, good. Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
MCC.
Yeah. Good. So for example, when it comes to accreditation, both they are the same in that they both are accredited, but they are different in the sense they have different accreditation agencies. Yeah, good. Anything
so
else?
one thing I want to say is that among the staffs from MIT, most of the staffs are graduated from the Western country, America, England, Europe. But
Yep.
Max is just Philippines, Asia, right? Australia and New Zealand.
So New Zealand is in Asia. Maybe.
Max is mixed.
Yeah.
Europe.
Yes, but MEGS does not, for example, have any faculty that have graduated from England or America.
Yes.
Yeah, good comment. Here's a question. Are both MEGS and MIT teaching online at the moment?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a similarity, a way in which they're the same. So what you've just done here is you've done note-taking, right? Same as Wendy talked about, we've made some notes about what is different and what is the same between these two theological colleges. So the next thing you would do is, having done that, we would need to organize that into a summary and think about how to do it. And there's two ways you can organize a summary. You can take a particular subject and show how they are similar or different for each one, or you could just kind of talk about all the things that are similar first and then all the things that are different. So you have to think about how you organize writing when you compare things. And you'll see for Alyssa wrote, she's got some general headings and she's compared complementarianism and egalitarianism under each topic. So she's got, I think, 4 different comparisons there. Okay, well done. Well done. Now, I'll just go back to my other slide now because I don't want to take notes with that one. Share my screen, come here. Yeah, here it is. Share screen, go back to that. Excellent. And you can see it. So when we're writing a thesis, we must always consider different perspectives. It is wrong and it is poor scholarship to only search for articles that you agree with and support your case. That would be just completely wrong. When you do a literature review, you need to consider all the literature that might be different from what you're thinking about or the same, but you need to consider it all. So I've got an example here from Nai Multung, who did her MTH thesis 2 or 3 years ago, just got married this year. She looked at studied the role of women, and I put this in because it's relevant to our topic, in Law Realm Baptist Association. And so this is her, I've just taken chapter 2 from her thesis. And you can see how she's done lots of comparisons. She's looked at women's ministry in the Bible, in the Old Testament and the New Testament, in the time of Jesus and the early church, and she's seen some differences. She's looked at the egalitarian view and the complementarian view. And she's looked at cultural elements. She's looked at the role of women in traditional religion and traditional culture. In the churches of Myanmar, in Chin churches, and then in the Loran Baptist Association. She's looked also at women ministers and lay women. What's my point? She's looked at everything she can find on this in her literature review. She has a clear focus in her study. She's looking to focus on the role of women and that women should have a greater role. But it's not until the discussion part of the thesis that she brings out her own ideas. At the moment, she's just dealing with what other people are saying, not what she thinks. And that's really important for us when we do our literature review. We will be reviewing literature that we may not even agree with, but we have to be faithful and review it accurately as part of what we're doing. We have to summarize and compare honestly without letting our own personal views get involved. When we get past that and have done our qualitative survey or whatever research we do, when it comes to the discussion, we make our argument, but not before. Okay, any comments on that or questions?
Wow, it's really very helpful, I think.
Oh,
I'm
good.
thinking, I'm preparing to do this on this women role in my dissertation. So I've been teaching, I've been studying on this subject, and it's my passion to write. Even in this journey, this study. So it will be very helpful. Yeah, very nice. And
Good.
it's a real challenge for here in Myanmar, even in tribal groups, different groups. So far, it's my passion to write on and to research. And this too. Yep. Thank you. It will be very helpful for me as well.
Thank you. Okay. Lastly, I'll do this and then we'll take a break. Comparisons are not personal. You write it in the third person. You don't say I or we. You just write it in what in English we call the third person. You say these guys said this person said that, and you don't make a judgment. You just compare. It's only fact, not opinion. It should be balanced and unbiased. Personally, none of us are unbiased. We all have our own preferences and understandings of things. But when we do the summaries and the comparisons and the literature review, we've got to be balanced and unbiased. And then we've got to cover both similarities and differences. So that is it. So what we're going to do is take a break for 5 minutes. And then what I'm going to do is give you 5 different summaries. And you're going to tell me if they're good summaries or bad, and we'll discuss it. So I have written 5 summaries of this article. Some of them aren't too bad, some of them aren't very good. And I want you to tell me which is which. So if you want to take some time and look at it again, that's fine. But we'll take a break for maybe 7 minutes or something like that, and then we'll come back together. So I'll pause the recording. So now we're going to look at 5 summaries of this article. And you've seen the article, so I don't need to keep it. This is what I want you to write down on a piece of paper. I'm going to give you summary number 1, and all you have to do is decide whether it is very good, a yang gaunde, okay, sode, yan sode, you know, good or bad, whatever. And just write one of those for each summary. It's good, okay, or bad. You will have your reasons. We'll discuss the reasons later. But for now, I'm going to give you the summary and you're going to look at it, read it for a couple of minutes, and then decide if it's good, very good, okay, bad, or very bad. All right, any questions before I start? Okay, easy. Here's the first summary. I will read it. This is a very good article on the difference between the complementarian view and the egalitarian view concerning the role of women. The author explains the main idea of each view and also provides relevant Bible verses. It is a short article and the use of bullet points is very helpful. So take your time and think about whether that's good, very good, okay, bad, very bad.
It's very good article on the.
Don't tell me, just write down what you think.
You concern the role of woman. The author explains the main idea of each view and also provide relevant.
So I'll give you one more minute to choose whether it's very good or whatever, and then we'll look at the next one. Okay, next one. Number 2, I will read. In this article, Alyssa wrote explains the difference between the complementarian view and the egalitarian view concerning the role of women in a Christian context. The author explains the main idea of each view and also provides relevant Bible verses. However, her explanation is unbalanced because she gives 5 key passages for one view and only 1 key passage for the other view. More explanation is needed. Take your time and decide what this summary is. Very good, good, okay, bad, or very bad. Please write it down because you need to remember each of these. Okay. Okay, I'll go to number 3. All right. Okay. I'll read this one. In this article, Alyssa wrote explains the difference between the complementarian view and the egalitarian view concerning the role of women in a Christian context. I agree with the complementarian position and find that the author provides a good explanation of that view. However, as is common with such comparison, the incorrect egalitarian view is inappropriately justified. Okay, number 4, here we go. Rote explains that the complementarian view says that men and women are equal in personhood, but that men and women have separate, though equal, roles in marriage, family life, the church, and elsewhere. She says that the egalitarian view takes the position that there are no gender restrictions on what roles men and women can fulfill in the church, home, and society. All right, I'll move to the final one, summary number 5. Complementarianism and egalitarianism are theological views on the relationship between men and women, especially in marriage and in ministry. Complementarianism stresses that although men and women are equal in personhood, they are created for different roles. Egalitarianism also agrees that men and women are equal in personhood, but holds that there are no gender-based limitations on the roles of men and women. Okay, this is the final one. All you have to do is decide if it's very good, good, okay, bad, or very bad. Okay, I'm going to move forward. Now, I'm going to do a poll. Have you done polls before? Anyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, this will be not a surprise. So I will start the poll and let you vote. I want you to choose the 2 best summaries. So you can now look at the questions, summary 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want you to choose which 2 were the best. And when you're ready, you can vote. And when you're finished, I will show you what everybody thinks.
We don't need to submit, right, sir?
Yeah, you submit your vote. Yep. 9 people have voted so far. That's good. 10. You choose 2 and submit. Good. 19 people, 21 people have voted now. That's good. This poll is anonymous. That means I don't know who said what. So no one will say, oh, that was Peter that said that or whatever. No, we don't know.
Sorry, I just mistaken.
John, you are near the seashore.
Huh?
You are near the seashore. So
I am, to be honest. In Auckland, where we live, where we are staying, it is very close to the sea. But this is just a background that I found somewhere. It's not true. If I turn the background off, let me do that, to be honest. I'll have to work out just a sec. I'll turn my, here we go.
But it's very good.
There, that's what it really looks like. Just like everyone else's.
Because when we look at you, we can feel the sea, the seashore.
Can you smell it?
Yeah, I can feel. I can feel the windy and seashore. Yeah.
Okay, 2 more people to vote. Of all the people here. So we've lost a couple, but okay. I don't think these last 2 people are going to vote. So I will end the polling and show you the results. Okay, can you see that? So 37% think that summary 1 was pretty good. 26% say summary 2. 19% summary 3, 52% for summary 4, and 78% for summary 5.
Wow.
So that's what you collectively together think. It may be not what you individually think, but that's what the whole class thinks. I better make a note of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 78, 52, 19, 26, 37. All right, now we'll continue this exercise. I will close the poll and I'll go forward to this. This is what I want you to do in breakout rooms now. I want you to talk about each summary, about what was good and what was not so good. Okay, now, so before I put you into your groups, I'm going to just go back and let you look very briefly at each summary again so that you can remember. This is summary number 1. So we're going to be saying what was good about it, what was not so good. This is number 2. Number 3. Not many people thought this was good. But you need to explain why.
So actually, the pool cover the letter. Cannot read.
Okay. Number 4.
Right.
Just so you can see. And finally, number 5 that most people thought was quite good. All right. So I'll put you in breakouts and just to talk for 5 minutes in your group what you thought was good and not so good about each one of those summaries. So let me do that. Okay. Good, people are coming back. Looks good. Welcome back, everyone. So, let me start with, how about group 4? What did you think about summary number 1? I can't remember who's in group 4. I could check, but hopefully I don't need to. Does anyone know who was in group 4? All right.
Yes, yes, sir.
Oh, good.
Oh, excuse me. Could you please repeat me the question? Sir?
Group 4. You can see the screen here. Summary
Yes.
number 1. What did you think was good about summary 1 and what was not so good?
I gave this is my point that very good.
Summary 1.
Yes.
Why?
Because it included the points and give also the person who summarized that his viewpoint at the end of the sentence.
Okay.
It is a short article that used to bullet points and very helpful. He did this point, and the other things he concluded very well, I think. And the other, like 2 and 3 are something like the judging included, and a first person like I issues.
Oh,
so
yes.
I give
Yes.
the
3
things to
not so good because it's got first person. Yeah, it's not appropriate in a summary to give your opinion, because all you're trying to do is explain what other people have written, not what you think. So good point. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. All right, let's just free for all. Group, how about group 6? Any thoughts on any of the summaries?
Yeah, number 4. Summary 4. We choose good because the summary is conclude all the author said briefly, not opinion and his view.
Yeah, good. Agree with that. It did. It covered much of what the author said and did it quite briefly. I agree. Good comment. Any other comments about summary 2 or 3 or 4 or 5?
Yes, here in summary 5, we can see these 2 different view. On these 2 different view, there is a clear summary each view. Their viewpoint, and it's very clear and it is very helpful that the author is mentioned.
I think there's a good point in there that clarity or making something clear is an important part of a summary. People who read your summary have to be able to understand it. And sometimes people write, you see, the thing is that someone has to understand a summary, but they have not read the article. So you cannot just use terms that are not explained. You know, so because the reader of the summary won't have read all the articles. So you have to use simple words, really, that most people would understand. Okay, anyone else for comments before I go back and work through these a little more? Okay, well, let me go backwards. The poll, and I can write this down, said 37% thought that was okay. This one was 26%. Can't do it right. 3 was 19%. 4 was 52%. And finally, 5 was 78%. Okay, let me help talk about this. We've got those figures there and it's recorded on Zoom. So, number 5, well, this is, Alyssa actually wrote a summary at the end. So I just copied her summary. So that's exactly what the author's summary is. And I think it is very good. For me, this one would be definitely in the very good category, I would say. So let me make that clear. Very good. No problem with that one. Let me go now back up to number 1. Number 1 was the first one, and we said that was 37% thought was okay. The problem with number 1 is it doesn't tell you anything. If you read that, what would you learn about complementarian and egalitarian view? Nothing. It doesn't explain anything. It just says that the article is very good. It shows the difference, gives the main idea, gives some Bible verses, and it's short. But if you read it, it tells you nothing. So in my view, this is very bad because it doesn't help you understand what it's about. Okay, number 2. This is just a little bit better. Explains the difference, but it still doesn't explain what they're about. And then the writer goes on to give their own opinion, saying that her explanation is unbalanced. Well, perhaps it's unbalanced, but that's not the main idea of her article. It's spending almost half your summary saying that she gives 5 Bible references for one and only 1 Bible reference for another. Again, it doesn't help us understand the thing. So maybe it's not very bad, but it's at least bad in my view. Yep. All right, number 3. Well, we've agreed that that's very bad because it's got the personal view. Like, so right in here, all of that is, let me highlight it even. How can I highlight it? Yeah. All of that is just personal views and they don't belong in a summary. So this is, I'll be nice and just call it bad, but it's certainly not good. Number 4, this one is really interesting. It's very good, but, okay, it's very good, but if you look at this, it's almost all word for word from the article, okay? The summary is not written in my own words. I have all the purple and green is exactly what's in the article. So conveys the message well, but it's full of what we call plagiarism, where the summary is not written in my own words. I've used all of her words and just said a little bit extra. So for that reason, summary 4, where am I? Summary 4 is very bad, actually, because it is plagiarized, because from there to there is plagiarized word for word. And from there, if I go from about there to there is also plagiarized. So that means it does summarize it well, but you're not allowed to do that. And that's most of what our class tomorrow will be about, is plagiarism, how to write in your own words, not the author's words, and how to properly do that. So there's my summary of all 5. This one is clearly the best. And then this one is very good in terms of explaining, but very bad because it copies word for word without any quotations or without acknowledging it. This one is, this one, number 3, is bad because of the personal view. This one is bad because it doesn't tell you anything. This one is very bad because it tells you nothing about it. So I thought if we looked at actual article, looked at it and tried to think about it more, you get an idea that writing a summary has to be in your own words and explain what it means. You've got to give meaning to it. And so while summary number 1 is simple and says what it's about, it doesn't explain anything. And that then, and Sam or Wendy might have mentioned this, you can't summarize an article that you don't understand. Okay? You just can't do it because it's very difficult to write something in your own words if you don't understand it. And by way of encouragement, when I was doing my PhD thesis, I came across an important article that I needed to understand, and it took me 1 week, 40 hours, like about 8 hours a day, working on this, looking up things, checking it out before I understood it. You know, it's hard work to understand things. And but you cannot write a good summary if you don't understand it. See, I could write this summary here and not understand anything, right? Because it doesn't give me any information. It doesn't give me any explanation about what is going on here. Okay, so those are my comments on summaries and things like that. How am I doing? Okay, it's not too bad. So I'll take it through to here. So I've got one short breakout to finish, round this out. When it comes to summarizing and comparing, I'd like you to talk in your group about one thing that you have learned. Maybe you have a question. Share that question with your group and talk about it. And then I have a question for you at the end, if you've done those first 2. Why does Rote not provide any references in her article? Because she has summarized what many different people have written, but has not referenced anything. She's not acknowledged the sources of her information. or is that a problem, or is that okay? So you okay on those questions? 1, 2, 3. What have you learned? Do you have any questions? Why did Rote not provide any references? Should she have done that? Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
Let's do
Very
it.
clear. Yeah.
Last breakout room. Go. I'm just assigning Gideon and Thane Tantun to groups. Thank you for coming back. And they should all work now. Should all be able to get into a room. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Looks like everyone's here, or not quite. I'll wait for some more to come. It's better. Just a couple more groups to join. Unless everyone's gone home. Oh, no, that's better. Look at that. Wonderful. Okay, I'm now sure that everyone's there, so I'll move you away. So anybody want to comment? What's anything you've learned from this? You've already shared it with your friends, so just sharing it with everyone.
Okay,
Any
let
comments?
me tell first, sir. Let me say first, cause I have learned that as you have shown us, I didn't know that in summary, we need to make such explanation like what you point as in number 5. But now I come to know that in summary that is needed. So thank you so much. I have learned today. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
The other days I didn't learn much about things. I told them already to my friends that I did not learn much about. But today I come to know something. Thank you, sir. I will do my best next time. Thank you, sir.
For me, what I have learned from this class is without understanding, you write summary.
That's right. Absolutely right. Thank you, Jeremy.
Something here we have learned one important thing is in our thought, a very good summary is a very bad summary.
Okay.
I thought it was good, very good, because it was short and it says the main point, but it we become understand it doesn't say anything about the article.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's just short. And according to this summary, we need to, we don't understand anything and we need to read from the beginning again. So it's very bad.
So when I
yeah,
see somebody who writes a summary like that one, I just assume they don't understand it. Because if you understand it, you can explain it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
So we are very happy to understand this. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes. Why in this article the author doesn't mention bibliography or some reference? maybe taken from the Bible?
She does give Bible references.
Yes.
But all the information she gathered from other places, and she did not acknowledge that.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, she is not writing a thesis, which you will be doing. and
That's
and,
right.
and,
That's right.
when you write a thesis, everything in the literature review comes from somewhere else. Nothing comes from you. All you do is put it together in a way that makes sense and explains things. So everything in your literature section of your thesis must be referenced, because there's nothing new in your literature review except maybe the way you organize the information. So she should have provided some references. Because if you read that and want to find out more, where do you go? No, well, she doesn't give you any places to go and find other readings.
Teacher, you mentioned that this article is not a thesis, but it sounds like it is an article. So is it acceptable to write an article without reference academically?
See, this came from a website. If you look at the reference, I did reference it somewhere.
Yes, yeah.
There, down the bottom here, okay?
Okay.
It's from Christianity.com, and it's a wiki, like Wikipedia is. And so anything that's preferably, everything should be referenced. Even Wikipedia, if you read articles on Wikipedia, they are referenced. They always have references at the end. And my comment on Wikipedia is that we should not use Wikipedia as a reference in our thesis. I accept that, but it's really good place to find information. And you can get references from Wikipedia that then you can go and follow up. So feel free to use that as a place to begin. You might find something helpful there. But I think any article that is published should contain references, because it respects the people who wrote about it first. Yeah, otherwise we're not being respectful.
Okay, I see.
Good question. Right, anything else? Where am I?
Sir, do you mean we must not use for reference Wikipedia?
Yes,
In
yes.
thesis, in writing thesis, yes.
That's right. I think that you need to provide better references in Wikipedia, but Wikipedia is a very good place to start finding information, and then finding from Wikipedia the actual references where that material came from. Okay, so I think it's a good way to start. It's not the best place to finish.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Very good explanation. Thank you.
Okay, here's my summary of summaries. Summaries should only include information from the passage or from the text or from the book or whatever. You don't add in anything else. If you're, whatever you're summarizing, only whatever you are summarizing. Should not include your opinion. Doesn't matter what you think. You are trying to be faithful to whatever has been written, even if you don't agree with it. summary should only include the most important information. There's so much information written, even in Alyssa wrote summary of it. You can only include a little bit. And lastly, summaries are not copied from the passage, from the article or whatever you're summarizing. That is just wrong. So, last slide. Summaries are quite common in a thesis. After you have written each chapter of your thesis, it's very helpful to the reader to provide a summary. Yeah? And often students don't do that because it's quite hard to do. But like 5 or 6 lines just summarizing your chapter. The introduction chapter is mainly summaries. It's a summary of the literature, which you discuss in more detail in the next chapter. It's a summary of your research method. It's a summary of your rationale and logic and your purpose, and so on. And literature review is a summary of the literature. So your thesis does a lot of bringing together information from other sources and summarizing them and writing them up. And when you get into and your research method is basically just a summary of other sources about research, how to do it, and showing you know what you do. And only when you get to your findings and your discussion are you you're not summarizing anymore. But even your findings are a summary. You might have talked to 30 or 40 people and you have to summarize that information. Nobody wants to read all the interviews you did with every person, so you have to summarize it. So this idea of summaries happens a lot in a thesis. So there we go, that's summaries. So what I'll do is I will say, look, we're done, and I'll just hang around for a little while and people can ask questions if they want to, but you are free to leave and go your way. Okay, so I will stop recording, so anything we talk about won't be recorded. And